and welcome to All About Sport. This is our New Year's special. We will be looking at the Donegal All-Ireland champions for 2012 on their return to Donegal with the Sam Maguire when we caught up them in the Hotel Kilmore. Also we will be talking to looking at the senior, junior and intermediate champions for 2012 when we had them on the show here in studio, and we'll also pay tribute to our successful camogie teams in Cavan, and we will round off the show with Owen Morrissey and our hurling development in the county.
Sure, just doesn't want the boys in the background. That's all. Thanks very much.
Welcome to All About Sport. Jim McGuinness, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. How does it feel to be heading back to Donegal with Sam Maguire?
Oh, it feels great. Obviously something that we've dreamed about really for the last couple of years, and I suppose for a lot of the players maybe something they've dreamed about for a lifetime. And the scenes on the way down the road there, and all the people from Dublin, really, all the small villages, people out seeing us down the road and out to see the cup is a fantastic feeling. And I suppose we can only imagine what it's going to be like when we get home, when we've got this type of reception through Meath and through Cavan already.
Absolutely, we're delighted to have you here in Cavan. You know, your style of football obviously has been very topical, you know, and everybody's saying you've changed the face of football. Do you think that you've changed the future of Gaelic football and the style that will be played in the future?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I mean, I think it's changing all the time anyway. You know, I think maybe a wee bit too much was read into the Dublin game last year. We probably weren't far enough down the road from the point of view of development to try and win the match, and at that stage, and we went with a certain game plan that we felt was going to get us over the line, and it nearly worked for us. But we've changed a lot this year, and we've added a lot of sort of offensive dimensions to our play. And I suppose from our own point of view, maybe the game might change, but we're hoping to change ourselves as well as we move forward. I think that's important, to be flexible in relation to that.
What would you say to a lot of people criticise, you know, your defensive strategy? You know, last year, you know, did you intentionally change the way you played the game this year?
No, well, last year really was about, I suppose, trying to get traction, trying to win games, and trying to get confidence into the lads, because they had, I suppose, been on a bumpy enough road for a few years previous to that, and it was just about trying to become competitive again, win games, and build a bit of traction through that, and it worked for us. You know, obviously it wasn't everybody's taste, but I think once we got that traction and we sort of got a wee bit of stability within the group, it moved forward then into this year, and we looked at different things then to try and push the thing on offensively, and now we're going to probably try and push it on again next year.
Brilliant. How did you feel when that final whistle went?
Well, probably relief more than anything, you know, maybe after the cup was lifted and the players were on the pitch with the cup again and going around the stadium, that was the time that, you know, you could sort of reflect a wee bit, and just fantastic to see the faces and the pride in people's faces, and just a great feeling since, really. And last night was fantastic, and the best is yet to come.
You have a lot of celebrations ahead of you. Do you think this team can go on to win many more All-Irelands?
Well, it's very hard to know. Everybody else is looking to win an All-Ireland. We feel we're part of a group of counties now, probably 6 to 8 counties that believe they can win it, really believe they can win it. And obviously when you do win it yourself, you must believe that you can win it again. So we're part of that group now, but it doesn't put us on top of the pile, it doesn't put us in second or third. We're part of a group that can win it. Anybody can beat anybody else on a given day, and it's just about, you know, trying to win games really, and be competitive, and take every single game on its own merits, and we've always done that.
Jim McGuinness, thank you very much for sharing the Sam Maguire with us here in All About Sport in Cavan Town, and enjoy the rest of the celebrations. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much. I am joined by Michael Murphy, captain of the All-Ireland senior champions, Donegal. Thank you very much, Michael, for taking the time to talk to us. Well, welcome to Cavan. It's great you've stopped off with the Sam Maguire. Congratulations on leading your team to an All-Ireland victory. How does that feel?
I suppose it's a lovely feeling. I suppose it's over the last day or two, you know, it's really sunk in, you know, and I suppose after the final whistle, after the final whistle, sorry, the overwhelming relief was, I suppose it was just pure and utter relief. And I suppose over the last couple of days since we've sat down as a team, and I suppose it's been really starting to sink in a wee bit better, you know.
I'd say you're all very tired now and just dying to get back to Donegal, where your fans are awaiting, we hear. But you know, the start, you started with an incredible start, you know, that goal in the first 2 minutes. I mean, that was a dream start for the Ulster champions.
You know, it was a nice start, all right. You know, it's just unfortunate we couldn't capitalise on it throughout the first half and throughout the latter stages of the first half, you know. Mayo came back into the game, you know, we expected that to happen. You know, Mayo were a quality side that had thrown the champions in Dublin, and you know, that was always the case. They were going to come back in it, you know. And after the start we had, we were just a wee bit, suppose that we were a bit disappointed the way Mayo came back into it, but that's the way football goes. And as I say, we're just delighted. We went tit for tat in the second half, and we just managed to get over the line.
Brilliant. It's hard to believe you're only 23. You know, you've showed unbelievable leadership skills. You've captained your team. You've got an All-Ireland. Do you know, how does it feel to have all this under your belt at such a young age?
You know, it's personal, I suppose. It's a lovely feeling, but I think the whole underlying, I suppose, strength of this team has been I suppose, the real camaraderie and the unity of the whole team togetherness, you know. And you know, that's something we've worked on, I suppose, throughout the last 2 years, and the belief in the confidence that has went through over the last couple of years has been phenomenal. And as I say, it's delighted to carry it through onto the biggest stage of the GAA calendar. That's the All-Ireland final.
And you also got man of the match, another honour to your name. That must have been a great, you know, excitement last night to also have that to add. What a great Sunday it was for you.
I suppose not a bad Sunday now, but you know, as I say, could have went to any one of the 15. You know, it was a massive team performance, and that's the way we've built our team performances right throughout the year and right throughout the last couple of years. And as I say, could have went to anyone. As I say, it's just I just take that there on behalf of the whole team.
What I'm dying to know is, I know your dad is a Mayo man. What has the atmosphere been like in the Murphy household?
You know, he's a Mayo man with family, Mayo, and aunts and uncles and granny and granddads that were there, you know. But as I say, it was you know, it was nice. There was a bit of slag and a wee bit of banter, you know. But I think they were happy, as I say, for I suppose to get over the line, you know. Maybe myself personally, but I suppose they would have liked Mayo to have won, you know. But that's football. Hey, Donegal won and Mayo have lost, you know. But
I know,
as I say, could have went any other way.
That's it. Well, Michael, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to All About Sport, and enjoy the rest of your journey, making your way back to Donegal with the Sam Maguire. Thank you very much. I'm joined by Carl Lacey, the Sunday Game Player of the Year. Carl, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to All About Sport. How has the celebrations been going for you?
Yeah, it's been overwhelming, really, the support we're getting. Like in Burlington last night, you know, there's 1,500 people there for the dinner and the big banquet, and you know, it's been unbelievable. Even leaving Dublin this morning, like just driving through Phoenix Park and just cars pulled in everywhere, and coming through Virginia and now into Cavan. It's been great scenes, and we're just looking forward now to get pulling into Pedigo and getting across the border into Donegal.
I know, I'd say they cannot wait to get you back to Donegal, but we're delighted to have you here in Cavan and in the Hotel Kilmore. Do you know, you've been part of the squad for, you know, a long time, one of the older members of the squad. Have you seen many changes, you know, throughout the years?
There definitely has. Like, you know, I've probably had more bad days than good days, and they're the days you remember more for some reason. Like, you know, and you know, we've come a long way in 2 years. Jim McGuinness took us over there 2 years ago, and you know, it's been a long journey, a lot of hard work done, a lot of early morning sessions. A lot of boys had to change routines, diets, etc. And you know, when Jim came in, he believed there's an All-Ireland in us. A lot of players probably didn't, like, and including myself. And you know, he believed that this day would come, and you know, we're 2 years down the road, and here we are.
It certainly paid off for you. You know, you've always been commended on being a very accurate and consistent player, and that really paid off for you yesterday.
Yeah, it was always supposed to be a bit of nerves there yesterday as well. Like, you know, it's always a big occasion, All-Ireland final, and you know, I was asked to do the job on Alan Dillon, and you know, Alan Dillon's one of the best players in the country, and you know, I had to mark him yesterday, and you know, some things went right for me and other things went wrong as well. You know, but you know, we got over the line, and that's the main thing. And you know, delighted for the 15 players that started yesterday. The 4 or 5 lads came on, the boys that didn't get on, and then the backroom team. You know, it's one big circle, and you know, we're all good friends, and you know, it's great that, you know, even coming down the bus together there today is great. And as I say, we're looking forward to getting back to Donegal now.
I'm sure you are. You know, at points of the game, it looked like the defence was starting to show cracks and starting to give away frees that you wouldn't usually give away. Did you start to worry, you know, at that point?
Yeah, we got off to a great start. So we did. We got 2 early goals, and you know, maybe we took the foot off the pedal a wee bit and we sat back. You know, I think it's natural enough that, and you know, Jim had a few words at half time, and it shook us up a wee bit. Yeah, and you know, you need that as well. And you know, it's important. We came out in the second half. We got the first score, and we went 4 points up, and we never gave away. You know, winning less than 3 points, you know, we never get that lead away, and you know, we always had that wee cushion there. And you know, in fairness, the full back line was, you know, superb yesterday, and all three of them, and you know, were brilliant, and you know, they kept us in the game, and anything that went in, you know, they got their hands on it and got it out, and Mayo came at us with everything, but you know, we held tight, and you know, such a relief when that final whistle went.
You certainly, you know, the critics had lots to say about Jim McGuinness's style and tactics, but I think you proved them all wrong, and I'm delighted that you have the Sam Maguire to take back to Donegal. Carl Lacey, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to All About Sport. Enjoy the celebrations, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. I'm joined by Tom O'Reilly, chairman of the county board, his nephew Martin O'Reilly, and Donegal player Dermot Malloy. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Tom, an interesting day for you watching this game. You had family connections. How did it feel watching the game yesterday?
Well, it was basically a tough game for me because originally I'm come from Mayo, born in Mayo, but you know, blood is thicker than water, and I had to think of Martin and the lads and the amount of work they put in all year, and you know, it was a great game. I had from the beginning. I always thought, after Donegal beat Cavan this year, that they were going well and they were moving well, and I thought they'd win the All Ireland. When I seen Mayo in the All Ireland, I says maybe they mightn't win this one, but they went off and they won the All Ireland instead. I thought they were never in doubt after the 2 goals went in. These are 2 young lads starting off on the team, and young Brick here came on yesterday for a while, and he did a great league campaign too with them. Marty here too, my nephew. He was involved with them during the league, came on in the championship, got hurted after the Tyrone match, and you'd feel sorry for lads to get hurted in that, but they're young. They have something now that not many players has in Ulster, in All Ireland middle. You know, the Celtic Cross, it's amazing what that does for players, and when they look through the Donegal players like Porrick McShea, Brian McAniff, and all them great players back through the years, Neely Gallagher, and all of them that never won a medal, and now they're sitting here with an All Ireland medal today in the Hotel Kilmore. To the Donegal people, I know this is going out live, and you know, it's a great occasion for a county. It'll lift the precious time that we're in, and like Cavan, Donegal, you know, 2 years ago weren't in a great place. They've shown us now what they can do with dedication, commitment, and with a good management team. They went off and won the All Ireland yesterday. It's a great occasion for Donegal. These lads have a long week ahead, but they have championship next Sunday. And I hope Marty pulls himself together, because I know this man will be training in the morning.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Dermot. News to your ears. Dermot, you come on for McElhenny yesterday. You know, you come on and you really made a mark in the game.
It was just nice to get in there. I suppose we lost to Dublin in the 21 final back in 2010, and I suppose there's been a lot of sleepless nights since that. You know, thinking, are you ever going to get your hands on a medal? And thankfully, you know, all them nights are gone now, and you have my medal, and just delighted, because you know, there's times, you know, when you're training in the winter and you think, is it worth it? But thankfully now, you know, it is worth it, and you know, we've that All Ireland medal, and we're just very, very proud, you know, to be from Donegal, and you know, to represent them on Croke Park yesterday was just fantastic.
As you said, you have to make a lot of sacrifice and commitments, but how did it feel when that final whistle blew and you were there on the field?
Nothing will ever, you know, live up to that. It was just unreal, you know, and just to see all the lads, you know, hugging and, you know, whatever, jumping at each other, it was fantastic, like. Yeah. But no, as I said, you know, we're just very proud to be from Donegal, you know, and we're just looking forward now to getting down the road to them and, you know, make a big week of it.
You certainly will. And Martin, unfortunately, you got injured after the Tyrone game. I mean, it must have been very difficult for you sitting on the bench, but none other than that, you've trained and you've been part of the team and helped them, you know, get to get the All Ireland.
Yeah, like it's been fantastic being involved. You know, it doesn't matter injured or not injured, you're still a part of it. Everyone's valued in the team, and you know, it's not just 15 players, it's the whole squad, the backroom team, the management team. It's just a fantastic setup now. It really is.
You'll be, you know, can you see, you know, Tom, you know, this team going on to win many more All Irelands?
Well, I think that Cavan are about 2 years away from winning one, so we'll give them another one anyway.
I'll just have to have a little cheer there. Yes, that's good news. That's news to my ears.
Definitely, that's, you know, it's a huge monkey off the back. Once you win the first one, You know, but getting organised, and the Dublin 1-1 last year, everyone said they'd go on for a long time. You have to apply yourself back soon, and I'm sure Jim will have them all back again. Sadly to say, we might be that happy in Cavan for that to happen, but as I said, we're 2 to 3 years away from an All-Ireland, so you can have 2 lads more.
You know, there's been a lot of talk and criticisms about Jim McGuinness's kind of style of play and his defence strategies, I suppose, over the last year. You know, do you think he's changed the face of Gaelic football for the future?
Jim McGuinness was criticised. Jim McGuinness started off to do a job. And Jim McGuinness landed that. He did that yesterday. He's a determined man. He's tuned in. He knows what's happening. He applied a structure, which is going to be hard to break down in that. But last year, it didn't work that well for him. But this year, got a new running game and on the counter-attack. It was a very exciting game of football, the way the Donegal are playing at the moment. And the team that he has built and the motivation he's put into the team, it moves the bar up for other teams. But in time, someone will design something else. But for Jim McGuinness, you know, it's a great credit to him. And what I like about Jim McGuinness is that he stands up and he's firm, and he believes what he believes in. He's not afraid to say it, and that's very important. Whether it goes down well or doesn't go down well, that's what Jim McGuinness does, and that's what's, you know, it goes through the team, that, and the lads learn a lot from Jim McGuinness. I compliment Jim on the way he's done it. You know, you'll always have the guys that don't like the style, but they're always from someplace else, and they're not from Donegal today. And I don't think you'll hear anyone in Mayo complaining after yesterday. They were beaten by a better team on the day.
As it was very tough, you know, for the Mayo team and the Mayo supporters yesterday, but you know, we're absolutely delighted that you're bringing the Sam Maguire back to Ulster and back to Donegal, and we're delighted that you've stopped with us here in Cavan to share the cup with us. Thank you very much, Martin, Tom and Dermot, for taking the time to talk to All About Sport. I'm joined by Owen McConnon, BBC Radio commentator. Owen, thanks for taking the time to talk to All About Sport. You know, you're no stranger to All About Sport, but tell us, we're here to talk about the Sam Maguire coming back to Ulster. You know, what is the consensus with everybody around Ulster having it back?
It's unbelievable. I mean, if you look at yesterday, the 9 counties of Ulster wanted Donegal to win, and you know, nobody would have begrudged Mayo their winning, but the way it was, everybody wanted Donegal to win, and you know, 20 years, it's a long time to wait. I remember 1992 as if it was yesterday. James and Martin McHugh and Anthony Malloy, and you see Mark McHugh yesterday, and the emotion, it was just fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
There was a lot of talk that it wasn't the best All-Ireland it's ever been, but what do you think?
No, I agree with that. It certainly wasn't the best, but look, at the end of the day, 2 goals early on in the first 11 minutes, McFadden and Murphy, the dynamic duo, game over really, but fair play to Mayo. They battled back, they battled very hard, they made a game of it, but there was only going to be one winner, and once Donegal stayed that 3-4 points ahead, there was never going to be any other outcome. It wasn't pretty at times, and it wasn't the best performance that Donegal would have made all year. Probably their worst performance of the year, but look, they have the Sam Maguire Cup heading back to Donegal this evening. That's all that matters to them.
I mean, obviously it worked, something worked, you know, if they're heading back, as you said, with the Sam Maguire back to Donegal. Can you see other teams next year taking on, you know, Jim McGuinness's styles and tactics?
It's going to be very difficult. I remember 2 years ago in Crossmaglen, Donegal were annihilated in the qualifier by an average Armagh team, and to see what Jim McGuinness and Rory Gallagher in particular have done with these guys is phenomenal. Yes, of course other counties can do it, and yes, other counties will do it, but I think at the moment Donegal are so far ahead of everybody else. If you look at our own county, we have loads of young footballers, and if they buy into the system, and if they feel that if Donegal can do it, why not we do it? Because Donegal are basing their success on under-21. We have had 2 under-21 championships. So, you know, yes, the answer to your question, other teams can do it, but I think they're going to have to wait a few years.
You know, we're hoping that we don't have to wait too long, as you said, for Cavan to bring home the Sam Maguire once again. You know, what do you think our chances are in the next couple of years of that happening?
Look, it's a very slow build-up, and it's a very slow process, and you know, you don't manufacture footballers overnight. Terry Hyland's been given an extended term, which I feel is good, in that he will get to know the system and get to know the players, and you know, build up a trust between them. Because if you look at what Jim McGuinness has done to these Donegal fellas, it's about building up a trust. He had belief in them. He knew that they could do this. Rory Gallagher had a belief in them, and likewise then the players believed in the management, and once the players believed in the management, they would have left their shirt on the pitch yesterday for Donegal. They would have left their shirt on the pitch yesterday for Jim McGuinness and for Rory Gallagher. So yes, other teams can do it. Cavan will do it, but not very soon, I don't think.
It's going to take some time. Well, we'll be certainly here in the Hotel Kilmore when that day comes, and hopefully it comes a lot sooner rather than later. Our club champions, Lara and Lacken. But first I'm joined by junior club champions for 2012. Lara, did I get it right?
Yeah.
Yay! I was going to make sure I didn't confuse the two teams. Well, congratulations, Lara, junior club champions, and thank you very much for coming into the show tonight. I'm sure you're all exhausted after the celebrations over the last few days, but we'll come to you first. Paul Grudden, you're the chairman of the club. You know, a great win for the boys on Sunday. How did you feel?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was just out of this world. We went in with the hope of putting up a good show, and if we won, it'd be great, but the fact that we won it in such style on the last probably kick of the ball, it was fantastic. The excitement from the stand and from all our supporters was really, really good. Something that to be cherished for the next 100 years in the club.
That's right. You know, you have Kevin Connolly couldn't make it tonight, but you know he joined the team this year. What did he do different to turn this team around?
Well, Kevin McDonnell came from Rammer to us this year. I suppose what he done to turn the team around, he's totally a player's man. No matter what the players said or done, Kevin always figured the players were right, and he backed them to the hilt from the very start of the year. Training was all football, so you know Kevin was totally a player's man. He wanted the players to enjoy it all year. That's what I figure made it for Lara this year.
Yeah, great. So Adrian, we'll come to you next year. One of the half forwards. You know, you were going well, but Mount Nugent, you know, scored them 2 goals. You know, did you feel the team put their heads down and felt that they were losing fate? How did it feel, you know, being on the field?
Well, I suppose Mount Nugent got 2 goals at crucial times, you know, just before half time and probably midway through the second half. But from myself, from my point of view, I thought the lads did terrific. They never dropped their heads once. They kept grinding it out, and in the end, then we got our just rewards. Yeah, you're like 6 of your players scored in comparison to 3 of Mount Nugent's. Yeah. So obviously you had a very strong scoring side. We did, surely, yeah, but as well we had I think only 2 of our forwards scored, and we had Lexi Colley here and Declan Brady, and the 2 wing backs chipping in as well, which is crucial because it's not every day every forward's going to score, so it has to come from somewhere else as well. Yeah. And Colin Oates. Make sure I get the 2, Colin and Colin. So Colin, you're 16 years playing. Not that you could tell, but we're looking at you. But you know, you're one of the most experienced players on the team. You know what? You know, you played midfield. You had to go off with injury, but you're very dominant in midfield. But you know, what changes have you seen in the panel over the last number of years?
Yeah, I suppose in the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, there has been a lot of turnaround with players in and out and all that type of thing, and we're very fortunate with Lara to have such a good, fine young bunch of players coming in. Now, it probably took 2 or 3 years to get them to this level, with the help of managers in the past. But Kevin MacDonald, as Porrick said, came in from Rammer, and he has had a lot of success from Rammer. And also he's gained a lot of experience over the years. So he came in with that mentality and got the best out of the players. I suppose he said at the start of the year that he's going to take a risk. He wasn't going to run us around the pitch. He was going to play purely football. Yeah. And that's what happened, and our skills improved this year because of that. What type of, he was very much into strengthening and your fitness side of things. Yeah, we did. We done a lot of hard work, sit-ups and press-ups and running on the spot and all that type of thing there, which I suppose in the last 10 minutes of the match against Mount Nugent that came into play, we were stronger and able to turn over tackles and win possession. Colin here beside me, I know David Kibney, when it's on a solo run down the pitch, and Colin was able to run after him and win the ball from him. Yeah. Colin, you can tell us a little bit about you're like a wing half forward. Tell us a bit about, I suppose, the training that Kevin put you through. Well, the training, in fairness to Kevin, was excellent, but I always believe, I said it at a club meeting at the start of the year, training is half of what the manager does and half of what people put into it. And in fairness to all the boys, there was massive effort in all the year.
normally a team gets to a final or is going well, boys be coming down from Dublin, and we've quite a lot of young players, students like up in Dublin and
quite a young,
colleges. A very young team.
Up and coming
and in fairness, all year, you know, everyone, even the start league games and that, everyone was travelling down. I was up myself, like, and everyone was travelling down week after week for training on a Tuesday night, like, you know, and that's what you need, you know, because you have the best trainer in the world, but unless you have the boys there putting in the effort, like, you know, it's useless. So it works both ways.
Well, exactly. David Givney, you know, he seemed like one of your biggest threats. You know, what kind of did you put into? How did you just kind of put him off his game? Do you think he had the kind of backup from his own team, or was it just David Givney seemed to be out there on his own?
Like, in fairness to David, he's a class act, there's no doubt about it, and a very hard man to stop. But look, you Collie here as well used to jumping and climbing on top of men, and Collie batted him, and then I tried to run after him. Like, that was the main plan, and thank God it worked to an extent anyway. So
it worked well.
It worked all right,
Declan, you're one of the backs. You know, what happened to them 2 goals at the back line let in? You know,
yeah,
two soft goals.
You can talk about the 2 goals, all right, but we only conceded 5 scores in the game, so as a defence, you'd be happy enough with that. And the 2 half backs, myself and Liam, we got up and kicked the point, so you'd be happy enough with that. And Seamus in the middle centre back was man of the match on the day, so overall I thought the defence was outstanding.
Yeah, so
the second goal was a soft goal to give away. But
they usually say most teams, you know, when they score goals that they're going to win the game or win the championship. But you know, you didn't seem to lose faith at all.
No, there's great fight in this team and determination. We weren't going to lose Sunday, so.
It's 68 years since you've won a junior title, Park, but you have won, you know, intermediate and seniors.
Oh yeah, the club had been very successful in the late 70s and the mid 80s. We won 4 senior championships, 3 in a row, from 81 to 84, and again in 94 won an intermediate championship, but starved for the last 18 years. And you know, I suppose these set of young players that competed well at underage level and beaten in a couple of minor finals and beaten in an under-21 final last year, had a point to prove this year, and definitely it was to be seen on the day in the dressing room before we went out, or even at half time. I had no doubt that our lads were going to win with the hunger that they had on them.
Yeah, and that today there was and a great display of football on the day. So the celebrations went well. Are you still celebrating? Have I just, you know, taken you away from the celebrations?
No.
So you went back to who sponsors the team?
Crosslands in Stradone.
So you were back to Stradone on Sunday night. Till the early hours.
I don't think the pub closed at all.
And hopefully there's no guards watching this now. Get anyone in trouble.
Fair play, the great local man Tommy Rudney supplied a minibus for all that work, so we had no problems.
That's good. And so you've got the Ulster championships are coming up next. The junior club championships are coming next.
Junior clubs on the 4th of October. We have a home game in Breffni Park against the Derry champions. And we don't know who.
It's in Breffni.
It's in Breffni.
November, 4th November.
So it's a home game, so hopefully that will be helped to us. Now we don't know how good or bad they are. We weren't thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. So you're kind of delighted with the opportunity to maybe win the Ulster title.
It's kind of a case of now, look, like we set out to achieve. We've a championship won, like, you know, whereas we'd love to go on, and also like everyone after this, it really is a bonus, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we know nothing about these. I heard that today, they won the final well. It's kicked 3-16. Like, but look, you know, our defence has proved to be tough to get by this year, and look, we're looking forward to being honest with us.
So you're a young team. Apart from yourself, Collie, the rest of you played at under 21 and level before.
There's 12 of the team under 23.
Okay, so a very, very young team.
Yeah. I think actually 9 of the lads that played are eligible to play on the 21 this year.
Okay, right. So it just goes to show that you really are. And I suppose as it is, it echoes around a lot of the clubs that they have a lot of young up and coming players. But you in particular seem to have a very young team. So when's the training starting back then for?
Hopefully not
shaking heads. Like Kevin, if you're watching this, you know they're just very eager to get out training.
We're doing our own training. In the cross
they're private gyms. Yeah. I wonder, do we have any photos? We don't have any. Unfortunately, we've no photos to show. To show the winning. So man of the match was Seamus Cooney. You know, how did he play then, Park?
Seamus had a brilliant game. centre back. And I suppose to typify the fella, he said to his mother or father leaving the house that morning, I think I'm going to be man of the match today. I think it's great that the fella can go out with that confidence and say
really,
it.
that's confidence in itself. Yeah.
He was a class actor.
So it was a well-deserved...
between himself and Colin McKenna and the half-back line, they were able fit to hold David Kivney back with the midfielders and all them lads together. So really, very much deserving man of the match now, Seamus Cooney.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, look, I have to say thank you very much for coming in and speaking to us on All About Sport. Best of luck with the Ulster Junior Championships, and enjoy the rest of the celebrations. Make the most of it, and thanks again. So that was the Lara Junior Champions for 2012, and we're going to take a short break, but stay with us. We'll be back with the Lacken Intermediate Champions.
Hi, I'm Marty Morrissey and you're watching Cavan TV.
I'm Willie John McBride and you're watching Cavan TV.
I'm Martin McHugh and you're watching Cavan TV.
I'm Tommy Bowe and you're watching Cavan TV.
I am now joined by the Intermediate Champions for 2012, Lacken. Woohoo! Welcome into the studio, boys. So I'm joined by, yes, I've nearly got half the team with me and management. But thanks very much for coming in and speaking to us on All About Sport. You were a bit busy a couple of weeks ago, Jason. I couldn't get hold of you before the first game of the final, but thanks for coming in anyway. Jason, you know, first time, you're a Belturbet man, and I know you well, and a lot of people watching you played with Cavan and you were very successful, and you've played with the Rorys, won 2 county champions. Tell us, first time as Lacken manager, you know, it's such a result. What do you think, what did you do to get such a result so fast?
Well, I suppose there was belief in the players first. You know, they were a young set of players. Last year didn't go well for them. They were at a low ebb in that, and I suppose tried to talk to them and see what went wrong last year, apart from this year and that. And I suppose we ironed a few things out. We had our own, I suppose, targets for the year ahead, and we set them in stone first, and we took one game at a time, and thank God it paid dividends at the end.
You know, you were saying that the boys they were demoted last year, so really you really turned the team around. Yeah,
well, I suppose a lot of hard work from the players. You know, I suppose it was guiding them in the right direction, and that they knew they were good enough to win an intermediate, so they were, and also keep senior. You know, also in the league, and we've done that so far this year, and I suppose going into Ulster now will be the next step. You know.
Very good. So obviously your experience has really helped. And then our captain is Raymond. You're sitting there in the middle. Congratulations. You know, obviously a very proud moment, captaining your club to the county title. You know, how did it feel to kind of captain them? I suppose after you got the replay, you know, did you think maybe you had lost a chance?
I suppose we never really lost belief the whole way through the year. Like even in the semi-final we got a draw, and with 5 minutes to go we were trailing, but we always believed that we could get the result. And the same the last day, the second day we were under pressure in the second half, but Jason has instilled that belief into the team, and I suppose the whole way through we just had faith in ourselves and faith in management that we'd get over the line, and I suppose we showed it in the end. So yeah, it was a great honour, and you know, I'm just lucky to be captain. There was 20 captains out there the last day, so it's just great. Yeah,
that's good. You've been you were part of the team that won back in 2004, am I right?
Yeah.
This is your...
Yeah, it's great to have 2 intermediate medals, so it is now. So
you had this experience behind you, just like yourself, Finbar. You were part of the team that winning the cup back in 2004. You know, you're a centre half forward. You know, how prominent were you in the game? Think you had a good game?
Well, maybe Jason might be the judge of that, how prominent I was. I felt I done okay. You know, I a decent enough first half. Probably faded a bit early in the second half, but that was probably down to Coothill's early dominance in the second half. You know, they came out strong. I think they got 7 unanswered points between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second. So, but look, we weathered the storm, and just delighted to be part of another winning team in Lacken. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, it certainly is. Tell us a little about you know, training. What type of training does Jason put you through?
It's a mixture now. He works us hard now. You know, he really does.
He seems very laid back and easygoing.
He is. Look, he's still playing the game. He's a new coach. He's a fresh coach. He has loads of ideas. He has worked with some top coaches during his time with Cavan. And I'm sure he'd tell himself he's extracted ideas from all of those people and he's putting it to good use. Training was very interesting. It was tough. It was challenging. And look, we've reaped the rewards so far, and hopefully it will continue next Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully. So next Sunday, not long. You don't have very long to prepare for the Ulster Intermediate Championships. So that's against Derry on this coming Sunday, Jason. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I suppose we're playing Swatra, so a day or 2 week break, and I suppose we're going into it. I suppose from last Sunday. I suppose we're after playing last 5 or 6 weeks, so we are non-stop, and I suppose when you're winning it's not so bad, but it just be, I suppose, mind draining at the end of it, you know. Yeah. So it does, but they're a good bunch of fellas in that, and they work hard week in, week out, and I suppose last Sunday, as Fimber says, we kind of tired at times, but we kept the intensity up as much as we could, and getting over that line was our main aim, and Sunday will be no different either. We'll be going out there as fresh as we can be, and hopefully get over the line, and at least we'll have a 2 week break then.
Please God. So hopefully man of the match Niall McKernan, and maybe hopefully you can just do what you did on Sunday and score 3 goals, you know, a hat-trick. So 2 goals in the second half, you know, and that certainly turned the game in your favour. So well done, congratulations. I'd say you were delighted.
I was, but like, it was
great moment.
More or less down to the rest of the players that were out the field, really. Like, it was only for them. Like, it was just on behalf of them, like, that I got man of the match, accepted man of the match. You know, the players out the field, they all played their heart out, like, and Fimber and Raymond here and Micheál, you know, like the ball they played into the full forward line, like, was exceptional. You know, like, only for them. Like, I wouldn't have got man of the match, we wouldn't have won, you know. It's down from 1 to 30, like, you know, great panel of players, like, and only for them. You know, they all pushed each other on all year during training and that, and like, only for them, it was great.
I'd say you really put the pressure, you know, on Cootehill at that point. And Micheál, you know, I suppose Cootehill were hoping to end their 4 decades. They were hoping to get the title. You know, what would you say? I suppose, and their strategy was their forwards were really, and they'd never kind of lost a championship game. You know, how do you feel that you changed that?
They're a very good, hard working team. Like, they're very young yet.
Yeah,
I think like there are a few great.
You say you have more experience. They were going in as the underdogs. So.
Yeah, like they're still a very good team. All of them really look up to John McCutcheon, you know, and there are a few young lads. They'll come good in a few years, I think. Like, next year's always another day, you know. So, like, in fairness to us, we worked very hard to beat them, you know.
Yeah.
I think like, they were probably a bit pacier, but we had the power at the end of it just to push them out of the way.
Yeah. And I suppose, you know, it's commiserations to them. I'm sure they were very disappointed, but I'm sure it didn't stop their celebrations. I would be drive through Cootehill every morning. I see the remains of a good night on Sunday regardless. So you're saying next up then is obviously the Ulster Intermediate Championships. That's coming up this Sunday, so is that in Breffni as well? Right, so this Sunday, and what time, Jason? Do you know any times or fixtures?
4 to 2.
It's
a double header along with Mullahorn, so
okay.
It'll be good to get the whole support.
Be great, yeah.
Again. So and they're playing Eric Kieran, so best of luck to them also. So it'll be good to see 2 Cavan clubs doing well.
Brilliant. So All About Sport recommends you get them matches in Breffni Park this weekend and support your local teams, and be hopefully we'd have a couple of so this game on Sunday, and how many rounds will there be in this? After this?
Well, I think this is just a preliminary round. So after this, I think we play the Monaghan champions. But I suppose we haven't looked at any further than this Sunday coming. You know, I suppose it's about getting back down to earth this week. And
I suppose a good thing that you're going to be on home ground, so that kind of might help. You know, you kind of, I suppose you'll be back on, you know, in Breffni Park. Might help kind of put you to.
It would be, especially when you have the home support. It'd be a lot worse if you had to travel to Derry up to Swatra, a 2-hour drive and that. And but I suppose we've played 4 or 5 matches in Breffni this year, so it is like a home ground to us at the moment. and that'll bring us on an extra point or two, I suppose, at the end of the match.
That's good. I suppose you have played so many games in Breffni, which I find a lot of teams are always daunted by the fact of playing in Breffni, and it seems to always ruin their game plan and the confidence of the team. So that might have also had. So Jason, plans then for next year? Are you going to stay with this team, or has that been decided yet? Are you going to come back to the Rorys, or maybe come to Kildallen? Maybe have them take them out of.
I have been asked, alright, so I have, but I suppose in the middle of the celebrations we'll just enjoy this first, let the players enjoy it. I suppose at the end of the day it's up to them fellas, they have to put in the hard work. I suppose it's just me guiding them the right direction and that. But we'll worry about this Sunday, and hopefully we'll have another few weeks of football before we think about that.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'm sure the guys will hope to hang on to it. And I suppose Raymond, you said, and I have to, just say words, can't describe how good a manager Jason is, so sum up, what Jason, has done for this team.
Yeah.
What a nice compliment, Jason.
He's looking for his place on Sunday.
He's looking for what?
His place on Sunday.
He's looking for his place on Sunday. Oh, you've heard it here now.
Yeah.
You have to keep him sweet. This is the key.
Yeah. As I said, he instilled the belief into us from the word go, and even after the game, it was easy to celebrate, but Jason had us out like Monday morning early, back training, getting ready for next week. So
what?
He's very good.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
what training session was that?
Is this just in case Derry are watching this and they're really? Wink, wink. Were you out Monday morning training?
Yeah, we all had a recovery session.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So yeah.
Take the recovery.
So yeah, no, he's been very good all year, and he's definitely he's been an inspiration to us all now this year. So that's it.
Yeah. Oh well, that's great. Jason, I didn't realise you were such a tough manager. Out the morning after. Tell us a little bit about your sponsors and give them a mention.
Yeah, Donald Keogan's our sponsor from the Imperial Bar. No matter, I suppose everyone knows Donald from Cavan and that, and in fairness now, anytime anyone looks for sponsorship, he's always there, and fair play to him. He sponsored the jerseys and that, and I suppose after Sunday we didn't really get into him there last Saturday, but hopefully after this week we'll get into him and that.
I'm sure he'll look after you as well anyway.
Oh yes, no doubt about it.
Yeah, exactly. And what about your selectors and some of the backroom team?
Yeah, we had Martin Brady, so he is along with me, so he is, and he's put in an awful lot of work, I suppose, behind the scenes and that. We had Dan Leddy at the beginning of the year, but I suppose work commitments and that, he couldn't fulfil them, and then you have Sean Delaney as well, I suppose, our coordinator and that. So there's a lot of boys, Pat Smith with the jerseys, and then the committee and Lacken and chairman. Everyone's in it. It's like one big family, to be honest.
It's a very close club.
It is, and it's a country club, and
that's it.
You always know the country club from the town club. They're very united in that. Anything that's on or that, they always go out and support it.
Yeah, I think Lacken have always kind of been a very strong club, and a very good track record, and like that. Just want to thank you all for coming in, and we've got the cup. Yes, the cup. You already forgot about the cup hiding down there on the floor, so you can hold it up there, Raymond, and. Yeah, Donald might fill this when you bring it into him. So Donald, if you're watching,
just to say on Donald has actually been our main sponsor since 1999.
Oh right.
So just to mention that, so just to thank him for his consistent
continued support
over the last 13 years. So it's great for him as well.
Yeah. That's a long time to be your sponsor. So obviously, you're doing something right, and he's doing something right if he wants to. He's obviously got good faith in you, and he always obviously backs the winning teams. The teams are going to come out on top. But a young up and coming team, but a lot of experienced players at the same time. So we've got the perfect combination. And but look, best of luck on Sunday. I hope it goes well for you. I really do. And enjoy the rest of the celebrations, and good luck with the training, and do what Jason tells you. I am joined tonight by world handball champion Paul Brady, who's kindly joined us in the studio on his recent win. Paul, thank you very much. Sorry, I was in a bit of difficulty there trying to get ready for the start there. So how are you, Paul?
Good.
Thank you very much for coming in. You're a very busy man. 4th world handball title. Paul, that's some achievement. How did it feel to win the 4th?
Oh well, obviously it was great. You know, you have to wait every 3 years. You know, for the World Championships to come around. So, you know, the kind of Olympics of our sport. So, you know, you're kind of gearing up towards it for
So it takes 3 years. You're preparing like you were preparing for the last 3 years for.
Exactly. Same as probably, you know, athletes prepare for the Olympics. That is our Olympics, you know, of handball. So you're kind of getting ready from a few years before that, and you know, I suppose your eyes normally on the next one. Maybe not quite for me at this point, but for other players, they're probably like gearing up towards that.
Brilliant. I think we have an action shot of you when you were won the title in City West. So here's some of the action shots here, Paul. So you can talk maybe through. I see just some of the. You wear special kind of protection goggles, is it?
Yeah. The ball is obviously hard. You know, if it hits you in the eye now, it causes a lot of damage. So they're protective. But usually you don't get hit. You know, with the ball, it's rare enough. So.
Yeah. So would you use both hands to hit the ball?
We would, yeah. You'd be using both hands, yeah. You know, you obviously be trying to hit it to your opponent's weaker hand, and vice versa. So you've got to try and make sure you don't have a weak hand. So.
Okay, and then we have the shot here with the medal. So that's a very that was a good shot anyway with the 4.
Yeah, well at that point, you know, there's a lot of relief at that point.
I'd say so, yeah. So, I mean, it you know, when you win like a world title 4 times, you know, does it get harder thinking, you know, do you get more, you think, well, I've won it 3 times, so I've, you know, that's an achievement itself, but do you feel there's more pressure on you?
Not really, no. I suppose it changes, it depends. Like the second one is very different from the third one, as it's very different from the fourth one. You know, there's so many things that have happened in the 3 years previous to each one, so I can't say, you know, it's hard to know, does it get it. Sometimes it depends on the competition or where you're at, I suppose, and you know what you're coming off after playing and winning, and but this time did I feel more pressure, probably a wee bit more pressure than that it was in Ireland, you know.
Yeah,
and,
so it was on home soil as such, and you had your kind of home crowd there. It's down up in Dublin supporting you.
Yeah, there was a great crowd from Mullahoran there that night in the City West and all over Cavan. You know, I have to say, and I thank them for the support.
There was great support. 4,000 spectators, I think, made it to the finals.
Like I said, it's probably a wee bit more pressure, like you said, in that it was, you know, normally you wouldn't have the support. Usually, I'd been used to over the years, you know, it's just playing, you know, against the spectators, been, you know, with you, like, so the roar that night, and certainly it helped a lot. So, but I didn't really think of that, you know, it certainly wouldn't be. I don't know if there's any more pressure really, because you're just so focused on what you're doing. You're not really concentrating on what's outside. So,
you know, tell us about, you know, Paul, when you were introduced to handball. You know, how old were you when you kind of started and got involved in handball?
Yeah,
who first introduced you to it?
I see my brothers play it before I started in Pats and Cavan. But there was Father John Gilhooly used to coach people in there. So used to coach the students in there. So I kind of just fell into playing with a lot of other Mullahoran guys, and you know, then started going to competitions, and it really started from there. You know, I loved the game straight away. And
when did you started, you know, moving your way up the ranks from underage all the way up to now you're at professional ranks? Do you know, when was kind of the point where you felt that, you know, you realised that you could go on to win world titles, that you thought, you know, who kind of, did you have a coach that said to you, I think you have what it takes, or when did that kind of moment that you realise I can do this?
I suppose very, very early on. I suppose, you know, Father John needs to take a lot of credit for that. You know, he really encouraged us that the sky was the limit, that you could, you know, really do anything. So, but certainly within myself, I suppose it depends on the individual too. You know, very early on, I certainly was way down the pecking order from my age group when I was growing up.
You were saying your way
down the pecking order, like, you know, when I was 13-year-old, I might have been, you know, wouldn't have been in the top 10 in the country, you know, when.
So really, for young people watching this, thinking there is hope. You know, you're saying you weren't.
Of course, you know, if you want something, you know, but I knew, like, you know, that, you know, this was something that I was going to play for a long time. From very early on, I loved it, and you know, each time I got beat by someone, I was determined to come back and get them, you know, get a win over them again, you know, and to get better than them. So you know, that's the beauty of an individual sport.
So when did you win your first? How old were you when you won your first world title?
I was 17. I was 17 when I was almost 18 when I won my first world championships. I was in Winnipeg in Canada. So, but I had a lot of losses before then, an awful lot of losses. So,
would you say it was a difficult journey?
It certainly was, because I lost so much when I was younger, and the pain of them defeats. But it certainly drove me on, and still to this day, it goes back to one of your previous questions. When you're going for 4, how do you, are you more pressure, or what space you're in? But you really, I don't find it ever easy to stay hungry, because I always just think of the defeats that I've had over the years, and they're still so raw with me, so like that, I think that was a turning point definitely when I was 17. I probably felt like quitting many times before that. Like I lost so many All-Ireland finals, and I won 1 or 2, but it just wasn't the amount of success that I would have liked.
Yeah. So you're like, you have a great advantage with 4 world titles. So to your opponents, you're unbeatable. You're going in as the favourite to win each time. So obviously that's added pressure for you.
I think so. People,
you had a great advantage.
People, but I actually don't find it like that. You certainly. I remember when I was trying to come through the ranks, there was an American player, David Chapman, was dominating, and I remember when I went to college and I used to be over there, and of course there was a real aura about him. He's about 4 or 5 years older than me, and he became number 1 actually. It's only now when you look back how phenomenal it was. He was only 17 when he became the world number 1. He started to dominate the sport. When he was 18, 19, he was dominating the sport. So he was a bit of a phenomenon.
Would you say he was kind of like someone you looked up to and someone you wanted to kind of follow?
He was, but he was someone. I remember when I went over there to play a lot initially, and used to when I came up senior and playing over there, and there was a pro circuit over there, and went over to play, and there was such an aura about him. And I remember thinking to myself, the rest of us are playing to, we're striving to be the best, whereas he was striving for greatness all the time. So I remember I always thinking I'd have to try and recreate that. That is something I wanted.
Does each player have a different style of play? Is there a different, can you analyse another player's game and help that for your next game?
Well, obviously, that would be a big part of it, and obviously the more you play them,
you look out for their weaknesses.
The more you get to know them. But I tend to not concentrate so much on my opponents. If I just want to get the best out of myself, and I'm always confident that if I get that, I don't believe, no matter what they bring, I believe I'll win. So.
So the recent world champions, you played Luis Moreno. So you and Luis have been compared to the likes of Nadal and Federer, in the tennis ranks. Would you say he's your biggest rival on the court, or
probably one of my tougher opponents? He's the last player to beat me. I suppose that was on my mind when we're playing. Had to be another player, I mightn't have been in Movade because I got a very bad start. But we played a few years. I think it was 2008. That was the last time I lost, and he beat me by 1 point. And it was for the US Open, and he went home. He lost the final actually, but the winner it's the most lucrative tournament there. It was $25,000 for the winner, and I had to pull out of the competition because I hadn't lost for about 4.5 years before that. So it becomes a bit traumatic at that time. So you can still play on and go for, third, fourth, But I just pulled out, so I ended up going home with 1,000 and someone else went home with 25 grand. But when you dominated up to that point, you just see that as your money. That was your title.
I suppose you have your eye on the prize. It's a true saying.
It took me a few years to get over that defeat, so that was definitely on the forefront of my mind. I suppose that's why they're liking it to arrival, and I've played him 3 or 4 times since now, and I've been well enough.
Where's he from? Is he American? Is he?
He's from Mexico.
And, Mexico.
Then he lives in Tucson, Arizona now.
Okay.
So
you've kind of known him for many years now.
Well, he's young enough. Like that time he beat me, he was only 20. So. I've played him, like I say, I've played him definitely once a year since then. So I had beaten him, so I was confident even going in. But each time, he's coming to the age now that when I started to dominate, So
you feel like he's maybe coming to his peak as well, or he's starting to peak.
I know the mental state of that because I was there. And it comes an age where you say, right, I'm either gonna, do this or get off the pot, as they say. So that's certainly what happened with me when I was trying to beat David Chapman. I was thinking, right, you know, all them other Americans that were a lot, you know, older. When I got to 22 or 23, you say, right, am I going to do this or I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to try and beat some of these other 30-somethings and late 20-year-old, you know, late 20s, trying to beat these players who've been around for a long time. So I know that's where he's at.
So it's a bit of a so it gives him a challenge, like you were in that position. You know, you've played you play doubles with Michael Finnegan, but how does it feel when you actually meet him in the singles and he's, you know, your competition mentally? How does that?
You know, I just read recently, he did an interview recently, he said, you know, it was his best tournament ever. He had an amazing tournament, but you kind of just block that out, you know. It's for that moment, you know. I suppose he doesn't think he does be giving it after, but for that moment, you know, there's no one you want to beat more in the world. There's no one you dislike more. You just you know, emotions go.
You put friendship aside and you just go in.
So you know you're just focused on what you want, and that praise and that title, and doesn't matter who you're playing.
I suppose there's great respect for each other, you know, on the court.
Well, there is, obviously, but you know, you just put that aside. Go full whack at it and don't stop till it's over, you know.
I'm Jim McGuinness and you're watching All About Sport.
I'm Carl Lacey and you're watching All About Sport.
I'm Colin McFadden and you're watching All About Sport.
I'm Paddy McBurty and you're watching All About Sport.
Welcome back. I am joined by Owen Morrissey and Gabriel, who are going to talk to us about Cootehill Celtic minor hurling champions. Thank you very much for coming in and speaking to us. So Owen, your involvement, obviously, you know, you're the hurling development squad with Cavan. So tell us about you know, the Cootehill Celtic champions.
First of all, Louise, thanks for having us in. I suppose
very welcome.
My job, I suppose, in Cavan is to develop the whole of the county for hurling. Underage, right from underage up to basically minors, and a part of that, Cootehill Celtic is one of the clubs in the in that area, and I suppose my job really is to develop kids from underage all the way up to a minor level to achieve what Cootehill achieved there last week. So maybe Gabriel might speak a little bit about the Cootehill.
So Gabriel, what's your role? You're involved with Cootehill. You're there.
I do. I look after one of the underage teams, the manager of the under 14 teams, and I'm the chairman of the subcommittee of the hurling division of Cootehill Celtic.
Oh, right, so you're a very busy man.
I got a few things to do.
But congratulations on the win last week. You know, it's been a great year for Cootehill Celtic. You've won the under 14s, the under 16 titles, and now the minor hurling title. You know, what's the key to this club's success?
Well, first of all, I suppose the key to the club's success is the effort that the young fellas make in participating in training. The mentors of each group are a driven bunch, very focused, and we've got good trainers at each level, and currently have a super crop of players coming through from under 13s to under 18s. So we had a good year. The under 14s were fortunate; they won the championship in the league, and they were beaten finalists in the All Ireland Fela. And the under 16s won their first under 16 championship this year, and again the under 18s completed the hat trick by winning their under 18s also. So
brilliant.
It's been a great year for us.
You know, it's you can see the Cootehill, I suppose, is a great club, and it's really shown with all that success. Would you say, Owen, the best team won on the day?
It's a hard question to ask me here now, I suppose, Louise.
There wasn't much in the final.
No, it was a great final actually. I was at the game myself, and Motherhorn came back on a number of occasions to challenge Cootehill throughout the game. And I suppose Cootehill, a few extra training sessions they had, and me and Gabriel were talking beforehand, and they were used to the 3G pitch was vital in their success, because they went down there training a couple of times before the match and things like that.
What pitch did you call it?
The 3G. In
So
Bethany Park.
Okay, right.
So I suppose it's just the AstroTurf down there, and
right.
I suppose it's different. It's a little bit different environment when you're playing hurling on a pitch like that, because it speeds up the game.
Yeah.
And it could have a bit of advantage because they used that pitch a couple of times just to prepare for the match. And it was great. The most encouraging thing for me with developing hurling in the county was it was a really good standard of hurling, and a number of them players that were representing Motherhorn and Cootehill on the day played for the Cavan minor team this year. That represented.
So some of this team, and I've had them in before, but so some of these team have play with Cootehill. So
so like with the Cavan minor team, we have 4 or 5 clubs feeding into it, and Coothill and Mullahoran have a number of players in that. They reached the All-Ireland final this year as well.
Yeah.
So we're having great success so far in the county teams,
Yes,
trying to build it back up
you
again.
must be delighted that all the hard work is paying off.
Look, it's not possible to let the people, on the ground, working hard. And number one, the children want to play hurling, and the people facilitating that on the ground, and myself really just doing the bare minimum as much as I can, really, to help that, to move that on.
Yeah. What teams are in the championships? Who did you play, Gabriel?
There was a number of teams we played. Woodford Gales were in the championship. Ballymeque, Mullahoran. As you go down the age groups, more teams are becoming more active in each. The younger the age group, the more the teams. Probably with the work that Owen is doing and Paul Divley as well. That they're getting under 8s, and there's many teams of that, and under 10s. Same story. An awful lot of teams coming into it as well, and. The under 18s, there wouldn't be as many teams because it was working on its own for a number of years before there was any major structures in place to help promote the hurling as much as it is today. So
exactly,
there'll be more younger ages as more teams.
So now the likes of Owen is involved, and you're building it from the young age groups up. Like, you're around all the schools.
That's right. Myself, was Gary said, Paul Divley, who works for us at GA, did a great job as well in primary schools, post-primary schools. Then you have Francis Clark and Vincent Dolan, who were here before actually, and we're setting up 2 new teams in Cavan, and they're going lovely at the moment. You have Cavan Town and Castlerahan, and Virginia possibly coming up with a team very shortly, and that's what our work is really, is developing new teams and providing more children the opportunity to play hurling,
It's great. Where are you from yourself?
I'm from Waterford, so 12 months. It's a long way. It's a long way. I suppose it's renowned as a hurling county, and it is, I suppose, and we've done great things in hurling over the last couple of years, and it'll be a while before we win the Ireland probably, but maybe Cavan might win one before Waterford.
And definitely, if I could say, just with Owen being there in his full-time capacity, he can give a focus to the tournaments and promoting all the time, and he drives the tournaments through, and he encourages at all levels. So I can see from a native hurling supporter, the growth has been extraordinary over the last over the last two or three years. Like, I went to Fala back in 1982, and we never scored a point in that competition, and the Coothill team went this year, and we were beaten by a point in the All-Ireland, and that is a fact. And that is went to the efforts of people like Owen and these guys, giving us the coaching and the mentoring, the facilities we can use, extra games we're getting playing.
That's the thing, is having enough teams to play to keep it exciting, and that they don't get bored saying, it's this team again, and they always beat us. That there is a bit of a challenge there for these other teams.
That's our challenge. Next year we're trying to tackle that challenge. We've through the Hurling Mentor Scheme, we have a pilot initiative now next year for a sponsored competition under 14, and Dahi Regan of Handcraft Hurleys is sponsoring us.
So who's that? What's his name?
Dahi Regan. He used to be on Dragons Den. He's sponsoring us in the in the Handcraft Hurleys League next year for under 14. He's going to provide more games for kids that age group.
So his role is to provide games, or
well through him we're developing the league between Fermanagh, Cavan and Monaghan.
Okay.
So
you have competition.
We'll have more competition next year for kids.
Because you have to kind of spread it, because there's not enough kind of teams at the moment. But as you were saying, there's more, as you're saying, Gabriel, under 8s, it's more up and coming. So in the next, say, 5-6 years, there'll be more teams playing, there'll be more competition, maybe more pushing clubs to have a hurling team.
Well, I've seen this year, like at the under 12 competition, East Cavan is making great strides in Bailieborough, the Bailieborough area. I like they've come out on top there this year. They won the final, and they're a new club, and they've started from scratch, and they have a good structure in place, and you'll see success coming up in that region as well because of the enthusiasm they have and the numbers they have. Big numbers playing it up there. So.
Tell me about the obviously you've got the equipment. I mean, there's a lot of equipment that comes with playing hurling. You have to have, it's compulsory now to wear helmets. When you go out to the schools, who supplies the helmets, the command or the hurls and the schlitters? Who
Well, luckily, once again, the Cavan County Board are very supportive of the project and what we're doing here, and they're providing us equipment to go out to the schools. Myself, Francis, Vincent, Paul, and other coaches, and a lot of those clubs then as well may have got support over the years, but also now they have to, do their own fundraising and things like that, because you said Hamilton hurleys can be quite expensive. They are, but luckily, you get support from the likes of Cavan County Board and people like that to coach hurling within the schools. And
so they send equipment with you.
Well, yeah, we'd have equipment with us most of the schools, so that really does help the whole situation.
What about this ash disease that's attacking all the trees? Is that going to affect, the hurl making of hurls?
Yeah, well, I don't know the full details of it yet, but it could affect. There's a lot of hurling makers in Ireland now, and a lot of new. It's a new business, thriving business, because of, a lot of inter-county hurlers are making hurleys now and everything, and it could damage the thing going along for. But there's new plastic hurleys out and things like that to tackle it, but. We just
want to keep it authentic as such, going down the route of plastic hurley. Would it have the same as a hurler yourself? Would it be much difference playing with plastic hurl?
Well, different players have different tastes, I suppose, and I tried them with myself a couple of times, but I much rather feel of the ash hurley, and I hopefully it won't spread too much. And
we had two young lads this year used them in big competitions.
Yeah,
definitely a personal choice.
Yeah. Will it be something that'll have to be standardised, even up to senior level, where, even you look at all the county players, are they allowed? Is it preference? Can they go out with a plastic hurl, or is that?
No, they're approved by the GAA.
It is approved. Yeah, so it is approved by the GAA. So tell us a little bit the backroom team, Gabriel. Who's involved in the club that you would like to mention?
I suppose it's not a point of mentioning, but just take the minors. For example, they were the manager was Seamus Hughes, and the physio and trainer was a gentleman called John Joe Rogers, and we drafted John Joe in this year to help us because vast experience in fitness training. He's a 200k cyclist. He runs marathons. He's John Joe Rogers from Knockbride, Baileyburg.
Possibly, I've had some of these triathlons.
He does the Cavan kayak as well, so you would have met him in that.
Possibly have.
We had good men with Michael Wall and Mark O'Rourke helping with the under-14s, along with my sister Pauline Shalvey, she was responsible for the kits and the equipment for that. That was a big effort as well, because there was a lot of fundraising for that event, and there was all new kits to buy for the guys, and we had to raise €6,000 or €7,000 for that failure to get them all geared up. And
so tell us about failure. You've mentioned it a few times, I suppose, for our viewers who are maybe unaware. What is failure?
The failure competition is an under-14 championship that's played in Cavan, and the winners of that progress on to a All-Ireland competition. This year was held in Dublin. It nationally moves around the country, and it's in operations for about 35 years now. And it brings winning clubs from each county. It also involves camogie. There's a camogie side, and there's also a handball side, I believe. So it's a celebration of youth participation in GAA sports, and it's very, very well run, and it was a very enjoyable experience for all of us involved in it. And we also have then in Coothill we have under 12s people again Fitzpatrick there, and further on down. Kevin Carney is at the start of the conveyor belt. Kevin is responsible for bringing in the under 8s and cubs into the club and giving them some of their basics. So it has to start at the very beginning, and the skills have to be developed from the very start. So a
lot of help there. A lot of people.
You need good people with a genuine passion from start up to all the way through. So
that's brilliant, and obviously that's the key to your success. Gabriel, thank you very much for coming in, and Owen, it's always great to feature hurling in Cavan on the show, and we just hope it goes from strength to strength. Thank you very much for joining.
So I'd like to wish all our viewers a very, very happy new year, and please join us again in 2013 for more on All About Sport.